The 1960s saw huge changes in the building industry. The Brisbane skyline was rapidly transforming, and the union faced new challenges.
They were built with the American technology of rolled steel joists and beams. So you had a steel structure going up and up and up and up and up. And they built the structure, all this metal work going up into the air, and then workers down below followed you up. But you had these workers, and some of them were crazy. Workers too, you know, showing off up there on beams and riding the hooks and on the cranes and all that, which has now been banned. But that was happening, and they'd put these bolt in these big steel frames, like a Meccano set, and other workers working down below them, and it was a terrible practice. And it led to that 3 of the workers who got killed were workers who were doing the steel work and just toppled off. What eventuated from those workers getting killed on the job was a big struggle on the job to get workers' control of a safety committee, to establish one.
The safety record that was established by the building industry unions was done on the broken bodies of many of our members. That's the reality of it. That's the price that was paid.
A new era of social consciousness was dawning, and the BWIU was ready to lead the charge.
So there was great social change taking place, and there was a great mass of people out there who were involved in this social change. And I wanted our union to be involved in it as well.
As with previous conflicts, the BWIU took a stand against the Vietnam War. The union assisted conscripts to evade the draft, helped organise the moratorium marches, and hosted a delegation from North Vietnam to ensure Australian workers heard both sides of the debate.
It was much easier to struggle against sending our boys over there, our young boys, and the lottery that they were running. But it was more than that. It was a real struggle against, we were opposed to the war.
The next struggle was closer to home. In 1971, the Springboks rugby union team toured Australia. The unions had long opposed the apartheid regime, and members banned work on the preparation of Ballymore Park.
I think people understood the situation in South Africa, and people wanted to vote or raise their voice against apartheid in South Africa. But I think probably in the soul of the people who are demonstrating was their feelings for our own people, our own Aboriginal people here in Australia.
The Queensland Premier, Joe Bjelke-Petersen, saw this as an opportunity to boost his flagging electoral stocks. Law and order became his catch cry. He declared a state of emergency, mobilised the police force, and prepared for a violent confrontation.
The union received a report that 500 riot batons were being made at Alice Street Public Works Depot. We went into Alice Street Depot, and sure enough, they were turning out the riot batons on the spindle down there. So imagine that giving you a cloud on the head, fractured skull, break your nose. What did it do to your ear? Get a swipe on that, you'd be looking for a new set of dentures. So walking out, I grabbed one of the batons, nothing like having hard evidence, you might say. So we went down to a pub down St Paul's Terrace and had a drink down there. He said, well, what do we do now? I said, well, I get the baton and I get a 3-foot rule. Ring up the Courier Mail. So we rang the Courier Mail. They sent down a journo and also a photographer. I said to Huey, you're the president of the union, here you hold this. So he has his photo taken, and we clicked. It was on the first edition, on the front page that went all over Queensland the next day. So the order was withdrawn, and no batons were made. And I had visions on that night outside the town hall, the bloodshed that would have occurred had those coppers had those batons and used them.
There's no doubt in the minds of the more advanced, politically thinking people in this state that we were living in a police state under Joe Bjelke-Petersen.
When Joe sought to ban all public gatherings, the union's social agenda became a battle for the right to march and free speech.
His proclamation was that if you wanted to gather together, he will nominate the area where you can demonstrate, and that is it. And it was the young people that led the opposition to that struggle, and at the end of the day we won it.
Despite the political and social struggles, the union did not neglect on-the-job issues. Problems on major regional construction projects led to a new fight against the indifference of government and profit-driven employers.
The conditions at Gladstone when we were building those projects was absolutely atrocious. Workers were living on top of each other. They were living under trees in the bush, in the caravans parks, which were overloaded. Husbands and wives got mixed up. They were living with each other because the facilities and the environments was so terrible. And you had little kids and whatever. And so that was the norm on those major construction projects. But after that, we knew we couldn't go any longer with that. So the next big project was Tarong Power Station. And Tarong Power Station, with 2,000 odd workers working up there, we built the grandest work condition facilities for workers you'd ever seen. They had, it was winter time, it's pretty cold up there, so we had all the dongas enclosed in. We had recreation facilities for them. We built a swimming pool in the city for the community. We built a kindergarten. Did marvellous facilities. Now then, those facilities became the norm, and that's how we improved the conditions. The conditions that you'll find on most of the high-rise construction projects are still good today. But by Jove, we had to fight for them.
And they're part of what we learned from a fine old gentleman by the name of Gerald McAdam Dawson, who was a union secretary. Audacity, audacity, and again audacity. When you got them on the back foot, keep them going back. Maintain your heights.